Hey there, guys. Before we go on, if you guys can hit like and then at the end of the video, drop a comment as it helps me out. Training, of late, it's been a little bit difficult. I've had a few big changes of life. I obviously have my 5-year-old son, and then we have had a recent addition. So I got another little son. He's 2 months old at the moment. Um, and yeah, training's sort of taking a little bit of a backseat. I have a big powerlifting competition in roughly 15 weeks' time, and I'm hoping, I can compete and do it. But at the same time, just having a young family and then everything that goes along with it, especially, the disruptions in sleep, it does make it difficult to recover. And then the other big thing, when you're tired and sleep deprived, you don't always feel that motivated to train. So I've been, still plodding along on training sessions, trying to stay consistent with my bench press and then the front squats. And then everything else is sort of, I fit it in during the week where I can. I normally train sort of based on how I feel, with the exception of Wednesdays generally being a bench press day, because my father, he comes over and trains with me, and then one of my other mates, he'll come over and train with me also. So Wednesday morning's always a good session. And in that regard, I just try and, keep that as my only set day, and then everything else I fit around it. I think this time, with so many different variables, I'm going to have to come up with a set training program and try my best to stick to it. Even if it means, just doing one big exercise and then coming back and then finishing the assistant work later on. So that's what I've typically been doing of late. I'm not getting everything done in a single session, as I just don't have the time or don't have the energy, or something else in life just demands time that I have to go and do. Um, so I'm trying my best in that regard just to stay consistent. That being said, tomorrow's heavy bench press day. I'd love to hit 175 kilos for eights, and if I can do that, that's going to put me in a really strong position, especially for my competition prep. And normally for a comp, I probably take about 12 weeks to really tune in and get done what I need to, versus sort of the off season. I play a bit around with, form, technique, see what's going on, where my weaknesses are, work on my sort of endurance. I'm not really going to say cardio ability, but just general conditioning, as I find, in the off season, if I can bring that up, also have a bit of a deload, my true competition season goes a lot better. And when I mean by season, I just mean the 12 weeks leading into a competition. And of that, again, the first 4 weeks of a competition block, the reps are generally quite high, because I'm just building that little bit extra conditioning with a lot more purpose and intention, because, I can see where my next competition is, and that's what I'm zoning in for. For you guys that sort of stuck in a similar situation, with time or, family demands, I reckon, just focusing on one big compound movement, do 4 sets of it, and then come back later on and do whatever else you need to. Home gym makes it a lot easier in that regard, because you have the flexibility. But if you don't have a home gym, I'd recommend just buying some of the Olympic spin lock dumbbells, because they take the Olympic weight plates. Later on, if you expand into a full home gym, the rest of it, you can still reuse the same weight plates. But the advantage is, the dumbbells, they don't cost a lot of money. You don't have to go particularly heavy, but just being able to do stuff at home when you can, or when you've got like a free half an hour or so, you can do your one arm dumbbell shoulder press, you can do dumbbell rows, you can do dumbbell curls, you can do, all your different variations of side, shoulder lateral raises, everything that's going to help keep your shoulders quite healthy. For legs, you can do lunges. If you've got enough weight plates, you can go and do your farmer's walks. You can do, goblet squats to hit quads, or variations, of different squatting movements, especially if you're holding the weight quite high up or even above your body, and squatting down, you're going to get a lot of mobility throughout your thoracic spine. Not so much, squat mobility itself, but you're going to get a lot more mobility throughout your trunk, which is going to carry on over to your traditional squat, because you'll find, getting in position is a lot easier. And then again, if you're strapped for cash, you could just go and do what I did. I went and got some, rocks from the local landscaping place, because that made, a difficult test of strength, but it really is quite functional. And I like the functionality of it, because, holding a weight so far forward of your body just requires you to use so much more back and core, especially, in terms of spinal extension and then bracing. The other big thing that I found, from the stones, was my grip tended to cook out, which, once your forearms have recovered, having a strong grip on bench press makes such a difference. The weight just feels more stable in your hands, your elbow joint, and just how you move. You've got that extra stability at the base position on the bench press. So, that's, just a few things that you could possibly do. But other than that, if you can try and get into the gym 4 to 5 times a week, so be it. But it's not going to necessarily be what you always need. Like, sometimes you just need to have the sleep and recovery. It's like last night I was going to make this video, and it was like 9 o'clock at night, and I was too tired to really function. I just sort of gave up trying to make the video and just went to bed. And that's sort of what it's been a bit of late, especially with the broken sleep. Like, concentration has also gone as well. We've come out of another lockdown, so restrictions have eased. We can go and do our normal things again. But for me, I've got to put more effort then into my business and get that back up and running, because every time we go into a lockdown, I lose the ability to do personal training. I lose the ability to do my remedial massage. So my business just gets absolutely destroyed. And with all these things going on, I'm not really sure how my competition prep's going to go. I've got the big comp, as I said, in 15 weeks' time. Pretty sure it's October the 3rd. That's interstate. So then again, I'm hoping, COVID restrictions and everything else doesn't, stuff me over. And then there's another big comp. I think it's 4 weeks or 5 weeks later, and at least that's in my own, state that I live in. So if the borders close, at least I have something else to sort of look forward to. In terms of goals for this competition as well, I'm trying to be quite ambitious. I want a total 950 kilos. I'm not quite sure what that is in pounds. I know it's over 2,000 something pounds, fair bit over. But I'm looking at trying to go for a 385 kilo squat, a 240 kilo bench press, and then a 325 kilo deadlift. So, if nothing disrupts me too badly, I think I got a really good chance. My goal sort of in this off season and then leading into the beginning of my comp prep was trying to hit 200 for a set of 3 on the front squats. And this Friday, hopefully I can hit 180 for a set of 3. And if that happens, then, another 10%, I'm pretty sure that's going to fall in the comp prep. So that should really set me up quite well. And I just find, in the off season, working my sort of mid to lower back in a isometric fashion with the front squats is really beneficial to my traditional squat, not to mention, the load that it takes off the central nervous system. Like, my CNS just gets more time to recover, especially sort of, in an off-season deload phase. So I get to look after my body that little bit better. If you guys have any further questions, feel free to comment below and I'll do my best to get back to you. Otherwise, that's it from me from the time being, and have a great day wherever you are.